Now, this one's on the side. Refill my cup in case. Oh, we live.
Hey, we're live.
Oh, well, you know, you could have told somebody. I didn't even know.
You asked if we were live. I said, we're live.
Cheers. I got my coffee.
Coffee?
Yeah, coffee.
Why?
Because I'm thirsty. What can I else say?
That's not coffee.
It's in a coffee cup.
It's not coffee.
It's probably coffee if it's in a coffee cup.
What is it?
God bless America, and gentlemen, start your engine!
Still down there. Still down there.
Still outside corner, you're number one.
Was out. Hell was out. Manager just about out wrecked him. And then she busted her ass.
You would.
I would what?
You would. You know what you did.
What's up, Bill?
What's up, everybody? We got in here. Got Bill already in here on the Facebook, YouTube side. Got a couple people joining in on the Instagram side. How y'all doing today? Got a new episode of Fascar Pit Stop coming after Phoenix. It was Phoenixy.
Did you watch it?
I did. I didn't get to the very end yet. I'm going to finish watching it tonight, but I watched all the way up till 20 to go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you know who won?
Oh, I know who won. Christopher Bell. Congratulations. You won some money on it. Woohoo.
I wasn't even bringing that up, but thanks.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares when you won the 500.
Nobody cares.
Exactly.
Not care.
Hey,
But,
I made up 5 spots. Yeah, 5 spots.
But all right, so let's get into talking about some racing action. It was Phoenix, and yet again, it showed that they make changes, and it does absolutely. I don't want to say absolutely nothing because
it was better.
It was better, but it was still Phoenix, and I think that's the issue.
It was more entertaining as a Phoenix race than I've seen in a long time. There was more. It didn't get as spread out.
It didn't get as spread out. There was passing, and I guess if you're talking about making changes that affected something, they did make it to where they finally could pass. So a little bit better there. I don't know if it's still enough yet. I'm still on the horsepower gang. I hear
Horsepower
AD
gang.
HP. Give me horsepower, give me death. But I don't know. We'll see. I know there was some controversy over some things that old Dennis Hamlin said.
I haven't listened to any podcasts yet, so please don't ruin them for me.
I have not either. I'm talking to the Teardown. Did you listen to it?
I haven't even listened to that yet.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I actually forgot all about it. I don't know.
Smalls.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I can't really mention much of the stuff I was going to talk about. But it just still not the racing action we need. You got Bill saying he was extremely bored. So far from rewatching it, I was unfortunately building a fence when this went on this time, and so far it's Phoenix, the same old Phoenix. It looks like my favorite part came at the very beginning, and that's when Austin Dillon got involved in another accident with, I believe, 7 laps into the race. So thank you.
Wasn't even his fault. He's like the Haley Deegan of the Cup Series.
He's taken over his brother. And let's talk about that. So his brother, Ty Dillon, 77 car, couldn't get a top 20 to save his life.
I don't think he could get a top 30.
I don't think he could get top 30, right? But Carson Hocevar coming in.
Carson Hocevar, yeah.
And he is balling right now compared to what we saw in that car. Same car, different team, technically. I don't think they kept much of anybody from Dillon's team.
He qualified like 7th or something.
He's qualified.
He made the final round.
Yeah, I don't remember it being 7th, but I remember he qualified. He's doing mobile qualifying.
Right.
He's got
qualified 10th.
Isn't it 3 top 20s now? I know it's at least 2.
I can tell you in just a second.
Come on, you're my statmatician.
Oh, keep talking.
Statmatician, come on now. You got this. You're the one with the mustache. If you have a mustache, no beard, you got
24th. He's 24th in points.
He's 24th in points.
That's
for a rookie coming out of that car. I mean, the 77 car. Always got to remember.
He's the number 1 rookie. He's the number 1 rookie in points.
Yeah, makes sense.
Josh Berry, Zane Smith, Kaz Gralla. Is Kaz running a full season in Rick Ware?
I didn't think so. Thought he was splitting that car.
It says he's a rookie.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe he is.
Yeah.
But I mean, right now he's looking at the sure shot for Rookie of the Year. Josh Berry has not done anything. And I mentioned in the group chat earlier, was this car that bad? If it is, then Kevin Harvick got just robbed of what could have been a prolific career. Because if this is as good as that car can run with someone that's still decent, we got to remember how he ran in great equipment last year. If this is all he can muster up and get right now, Kevin Harvick must have been on some other level.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think we're seeing a little bit resurgence as far as Stuart Haas. I mean, Chase Briscoe had a 12th place finish, I think it was. Noah finished in the top 10. So you got 2 Stuart Haas cars running, top 15-ish.
Yeah.
And then Priest, it was strategy, but Priest was running second for like 40 laps or so towards the end of the race. So I'm curious to see as the next month goes on where Stuart Haas lines up, because we got 4 more short tracks in the next 5 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Short track package alone, I thought we had a better race at Phoenix than we have in the past. I'm not saying it was a great race. But again, we got 5 more short tracks coming up here in a row, other than Coda being in the middle of it. And I'm excited for Bristol. I can't wait to see how Bristol is during the day, concrete, back on concrete.
Bristol and Martinsville. I think those 2 tracks to me, Richmond obviously as well, but for me, I want to see how the car does at Bristol, and I want to see how the car does at Martinsville.
I think your hopes are going to be, don't have any expectations for Martinsville. I don't think there's going to be any difference.
I hope there is. I really
hope get rid of shifting or add more horsepower.
Well, we know they're not going to add more horsepower, even if they do call. Yeah, I mean, they need to add more horsepower to make the racing great. They're not going to do it, so we're going to get the same crappy racing, unfortunately. But the cars did look a little bit more squirrely, especially whenever they were coming out of the turns.
Kyle Busch lost it by himself. Kyle Busch.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see if that translates to making a better, tricky paperclip.
Yeah, the corner speeds are just so slow at Martinsville. I don't think you're going to see much difference in this package. It's aero changes. The only thing you're going to see it is maybe on the straightaways, but I don't think they're going fast enough to really make a difference at Martinsville. Bristol, I think Bristol is going to be interesting with this package. Yeah. Richmond, I don't know what to do with Richmond either. I think Richmond might be a decent race finally from what we saw with the package here at Phoenix.
Martinsville is the real test. Agree. Yep. But yes, need more horsepower on short tracks. Let them drive it.
Everybody says that. Everybody's saying that. If NASCAR can't listen to what fans and drivers are saying, then they don't care.
And if we're talking about them not listening to fans, why does Phoenix have 2 races? It blows my mind that everyone has talked, even former drivers have said how bad Phoenix is. I mean, what was the last year? Someone came out and said last time there was a great race at Phoenix was 1980 something. Yeah. I mean, that is insane that we all agree on that. But NASCAR doesn't, and they get the championship race. They get the creme de la resistance because it sells out.
I think this last year you'll see Phoenix with the championship race.
I really hope so. I mean, I would be fine. Obviously, I'd love Homestead to go back, but I would also be okay with an Atlanta. I know it's a super speedway style, but with how great that race was, I think it'd be worth it.
I'd be. I don't know. I don't. What's your opinion about Phoenix not being the championship next year? RJ, I think like we're saying, I think Phoenix shouldn't be the championship race next year. I think we should have either a rotation or go back to Homestead. We only have a limited amount of choices we can do as far as the championship race because it's in November. You're talking about weather conditions and whatnot. You can't race in Bristol. You can't race in Martins. I mean, I guess you could race in Martinsville. Martinsville is the last race of the playoffs until the championship race. But Matt even says Atlanta championship will go hard. I don't know. I mean, it would be crazy to see a championship determined on a super speedway.
That's the thing that would kind of probably not get the vote, is because it's a huge what if track.
RJ says on here championship should be at Charlotte. I would think Charlotte would be an awesome place to finish the championship. They race so good there for the Coke 600.
But that would spell the end of the Roval.
Who cares?
I'm just saying we know they're not getting rid of the Roval for at least another 5 years.
I'd say at least another 2 or 3. We'll see. There might be pressure internally from NASCAR to be like, okay, we need to change this up because we know the Roval is a snooze fest now too. It's
a 1.5 mile track. So as far as racing,
any mile and a half as a championship race.
Yeah, it still would be a good track to run it at. And obviously that's kind of home base. So it does make sense. But I don't know. I kind of like Homestead having that championship race. I'm fine with Homestead having that championship race. I think it would be fun to see Atlanta, or I wish there was a fan vote each year for the next year what track they're going to run it at. And they only get a selection of tracks that they can run at. Obviously, we know weather's
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, they can't give us all tracks, because if they give us all tracks, someone's going to vote for something that's going to be inaccessible in November.
Give them 3 tracks.
Exactly. So they have to have a certain list, and then we vote as fans where the championship race is going to be. I think it should be the same thing for the All-Star, but something. They need to make it special.
I think you're going to see the schedule get really flipped up next year. We've already had the rumors talking about international races coming next year, whether that's Canada, the Clash potentially moving to Mexico. I don't know if you saw some of the rumors that maybe Dodger Stadium. What the look, NASCAR. I don't hate the Clash idea of being in the Coliseum or building a racetrack for a special purpose like that, but I can't see it at Dodger Stadium.
I don't either. And real quick, Ian Bowen's over on the Instagram side said, I think they should do it at Daytona because they start the races there every year and they should end it there. It would make sense. Problem with that is it is such a wild card. Now,
it's even more of a wild card than Atlanta.
Yeah. But I think at the same time, I do think, is that a wild card? When was the last? I mean, it feels like every year you get to Phoenix, whoever wins Phoenix is the winner of the championship. What if it was a wild card? What if it wasn't as black and white as, all right, this person's going to win. They run great at Phoenix. We know they run great at Phoenix. All right, now it's a super speedway. They got to be able to draft. They got to be able to position themselves great. They have to be able to race smart because you never know when you're going to be involved in the big one. So that's why I think Atlanta would be great. I don't know about Daytona because it is even more of that what-if factor. But I'm not mad at a what-if factor.
I think as far as a corporate side, I'm thinking corporately for sponsors and everything, you do not want your driver that's in a championship 4 to be in a luck of the draw race. I don't think it's a good look or anything from, yes, it would be amazing to see what would be probably an absolute shit show because everybody be going for the win for one, last race of the year, but 2, you got 4 championship guys that are just going to be tiptoeing around trying to stay out of trouble. I don't think it would end well. I think Daytona should be the start of the regular season and end of the regular season.
I agree with that part. I'm fine with Daytona. That's what I say. Like, I feel more of, if I'm picking a super speedway, I'm picking Atlanta, not Daytona for this, because I think you start the season, you end the season, like you said. Need a speed week for sure. RJ said, should we just go away with this cutoff system and just race? Yes and no.
Yeah, As far as the old school fan, Winston Cup points, yeah, I kind of like the old system because in my mind, I don't even consider anybody who wins a championship now a true champion.
Yep.
Look, you made it to the championship four. In my eyes, a driver who makes it to the championship four has more credibility than a championship winner.
Yes.
We saw it. We've seen it year after year. The guys that win the championship, if they get in the championship four by winning one of the last races in the last round,
Mhm.
all they got to do is get hot.
Yep.
Ryan Blaney last year, perfect example. He got hot right at the right time, wins the championship. Wasn't really rewarded on consistency because he was shit through the entire season.
Well, and it's also Penske cooks some things up when it gets to the final rounds. Like those cars are not the same as they were during the regular season or the start of the playoffs. Let's be honest there.
Yeah,
And
I think as far as our current system, I like our current system. I don't know how you fix it anymore. Do you make championship four drivers race 3 more rounds or 3 more races for 1 more round, and it's the best out of the 3, and it comes down to points again? I kind of like that better. But do you eliminate one of the rounds in order to make a final round being 3 races for 4 championship drivers?
I don't think they can do that either. I mean,
Because then that would go back to why they've added 16 drivers.
exactly.
Because everybody wants a chance to have their sponsor, their corporation, their name on a race car in a playoff situation.
Yeah, I mean
It's all about money.
That's the problem is the money on it, the TV schedule. I mean, they want to push us now. NASCAR's killing it through TV right now. I mean, if you look and you see, what they're doing for ratings, they're killing it so far, doing a great job. But they're going to lose people. They keep doing stuff like they're doing right now. They do need to fix something. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't like it being at Phoenix. You have to be good. You kind of go into that race having a favorite to win the championship out of those 4 just based off of previous finishes just for Phoenix. And it's kind of the same thing for 1.5 miles, especially when you were talking about the old cars where Ford was at such a huge disadvantage, it felt like. But right now, Toyota, man, they with the redesign and everything, they dominated the short track. And I'm very interested to see how they're going to do at Bristol to see if it's the new body style or they just got really hot at Phoenix.
I think it's the new body style, and I think we're just going to see more of it as we go on. I mean, Toyotas were fast at Las Vegas the previous week. Obviously, there was really hard to beat Kyle Larson, but as we continue to go through the season, I think Toyotas are going to be the dominant car.
Obviously, they're figuring it out pretty quick. Ford, RFK finally starting to show life again. Other than that, I mean, it wasn't a great day for Ford. Basically, RFK got good at the end, from what I understand so far, because of how their scheme, how they ended up, changing their strategy up to get them up there. Because I mean, Chris Buescher did not have a second place finishing car. Obviously, I'm a Chris Buescher fan on top of Noah. But that was not a second place car, and luckily strategy worked out for him. Brad ended up finishing 4th, I believe. But
I think they both.
It should be 2nd and 4th, so they should be top 5 for both of them.
Yeah, second and 4th. So good run for RFK. Maybe not statistically through the entire race, but yeah, because I mean Christopher Bell 50 points, and then Chris Buescher 36 points, Ty Gibbs 43 points. So that tells you right there that they weren't up there for stage points through the race. But hey, take your top 5s, get out there. Chris Buescher, he's got to make up some points anyways because of his penalization.
Well, he had the wreck too. So I mean, like whenever Logano took him out, that did nothing for him in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got some issues going on with all that, and then you got Keselowski, who, I mean, a great talent, and he is at the end of points right now. I mean, obviously he's not so far out that it's a gone season. Logano, they got to get.
Logano's had 3 finishes out of the first 4 races in the 30s.
Yeah,
and I love to see it.
I'm fine with it. Them hair plugs, man, they're weighing them down.
Logano's 30th in points.
Sorry I'm late, fellas. What a great day for Team Hendrick, huh? Hey,
Hendrick was not. They didn't show up.
We
had Chase and we had Willie. They both ran top 10 most of the race.
Yep.
And then part of that strategy there, they took 4 tires towards the end of the race on that last pit stop, and they got mired back in traffic. Ironically, the guy they didn't talk about the most would have been Larson, ended up finishing the best.
Yeah.
Only 14th.
Yeah, I mean, and you looked at basically whenever they showed their graphic, it was funny because I looked at the Instagram and it showed all the finishing for all the drivers. I'm like, am I looking at, is this SHR? Did they get these mixed up? Because it kind of looked like SHR, but SHR was actually better than that. I mean, you got Noah who's still killing it. Congratulations, Noah. This is the Noah that we were wanting last year. It's looking like we got him this year.
Noah's up 26th in points now, too.
If you add that 35 back in, I looked at it earlier. If you add the 35 back in, he's a playoff driver right now.
Yeah.
He would have 88 points if I remember right.
Eric Jones is sitting 18th in points. I had Eric in my fantasy. I felt like he was going to have a good race, and up until I don't know exactly what had happened between him and Bubba Wallace, but it looked like Bubba just adored him or something, and Eric bounced it off the wall and it ruined his day. He finished like 32nd or something. But most of these Toyotas are up front. One of the shocking things I'm seeing looking at points right now is Ryan Blaney leading points. Consistency, man. He's picking right back off of that championship.
Let's see. We got Ian over on Instagram saying, lately Chase Elliott has not been doing good. We've talked about this. He is the third best driver at Hendrick Motorsports right now. And you cannot convince me otherwise.
Yeah, I think he's going through maybe a confidence issue or something internally with the team. Maybe there's a chemistry issue now between him and Allen. It's weird that, Chase. Now, I will say Chase did run most of the race top 10 and kind of got screwed over on strategy and his finish did not reflect where he ran most of the day. Hendrick cars as a whole, they were off. And it's a little concerning as we continue to go to short tracks here. It's especially concerning considering that the championship race is at Phoenix. So come November, if we have a Hendrick car in the Final Four, what are they going to be considered a favorite to win the championship?
It's a little worrisome, but I'll tell you what, my pick of Tyler Reddick for this year, not looking too terrible when it comes to Phoenix.
Yeah, Reddick's 5th in points right now. Of course, he got the stage win and stage 1. Yep. Reddick's come out firing. I'm not surprised. I think Reddick's going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. I think he's going to bust off probably 5 wins, maybe. The potential's there.
We'll see
if the pit crew can stay behind him.
Yeah, we'll get
and
that.
Ty Gibbs, Uncle Chuck is saying, Ty Gibbs first win this weekend. I got that feeling. I don't know if it comes this weekend. I've thought about it. I think it's a possibility for sure. Ty is going to win a race this year, if not 2 or more.
I definitely have Ty Gibbs winning. I don't know if it's this soon. I kind of have him for a different race I'm thinking of.
Where would you think Ty is in points?
Ty Gibbs?
Yeah.
I don't know, probably 10th, 8th, or 9th, 10th, somewhere in there.
6th.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, he has been pretty consistent. He has been racing up in the lead for most of the race. It seems the end of the race is his problem right now.
I mean, last weekend at Vegas, I think he had some issues that kind of took him out of contention, but he had that pit stop issue this weekend. Was it speeding or something? He ended up, it was a long pit stop. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. But it was like in the middle of stage 1. So he was able to recover and he came back and finished 2nd. So I wouldn't count Ty out this coming weekend at Bristol.
You can't yet.
I wouldn't count him out for most of these races coming up.
Yeah. David Montz, but doesn't that fall back on Alan Gustafsson? That's not the first time he screwed up on strategy. Part of it does, but also
Glenn.
But I mean, part of it's how Chase sets it up.
Yeah,
look at his qualifying. You got to look at the.
I mean, I think it's a chemistry issue. I think that Chase just maybe it's time for a crew chief change. I know there's a lot of Chase fans out there screaming for Allen's head because Chase isn't running good, but
it's a part of it.
I'm like you, David. I think Chase is the third wheel right now at Hendrick.
Yeah, I mean it's. If you look at the entire body of work, yes, strategy-wise, that's a lot going for Allen. However, I'm looking at qualifying. I'm looking at running status at the beginning of the race through it. there's nothing screaming this is a top tier team.
I mean, Chase had the best qualifying run out of the Hendrick cars this weekend. And he did run top 5 at first stage. I don't know how many stage points he got in that first stage.
Not great.
Yeah, he got stage points at first stage.
Yeah, I'm saying not great. I didn't say he didn't.
I think he finished like 5th, stage 1.
See, Chase should retire from NASCAR and start training for the 2026 Winter Olympics.
2026 Special Olympics.
He's special. That's for sure. Knocking everything over in the hotel.
Where stage finishings were.
Sorry. It's Richmond, man. There was, or not Richmond. Sorry, it's Phoenix. It was so boring. See, I'm gonna be getting the tracks wrong now. It just the racing was better.
Yeah, he finished 5th in stage 1.
It just doesn't matter to me. He does not. He's not racing the way that a top tier talent would be.
From a Chase fan.
He's from an ex-Chase fan. I mean, he's literally. If you look at what Bowman's doing and you look at what he's doing, there's not much difference there when it comes to entire body of work.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bowman was hurt for the remainder of 23. Coming out this year, though, I'm a little concerned about where he's been qualifying and running. I mean, he hasn't done anything to show.
I mean, they just signed that deal with Ally. They got Levi over on Instagram. What's up, Levi? How's it going? NG Nation, baby. I feel like Hendrick show out mid-season. Very possible. I mean,
Bowman's 13th in points. So
not bad. But I mean, last year he was leading the points before he got hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I could see Hendrick, showing out mid-season. That's for sure when you get into the stride of things. But we'll see. There's multiple things. There's a lot. Almost getting ran over twice by his golf cart and not saying crap to us than one of them.
I ain't got nothing.
And also, when you actually go to races, for those Chase fans that just watch racing, you go to races and you start interacting with drivers and you meet people like Noah Gragson, you meet people like Chris Buescher, you meet some of these guys that are these top tier talents. Chase was a top tier talent. A lot of people are going to sit there and go, yeah, it is. He still is. Okay. Top tier talent. His personality is nothing. He does not have one. So you sit there and you cut up or you talk with Noah. You sit there for 5 minutes and have a conversation with Chris Buescher. Both the things that I've done personally. It's
played rock, paper, scissors with Noah.
Yeah. I mean, I beat Noah in rock, paper, scissors while he was going around Atlanta. Chase ain't doing that. It's just a whole different thing, and that's why I went away from Chase. Noah first, Chris Buescher second. Let's see. Ian over on Instagram, it was hard for me to watch the races today. I felt like it was boring, which hurts me because I love NASCAR so much. And this is how you're going to turn away even more fans, especially the new casual fans.
Yeah, the people that came in after Daytona, Netflix, Atlanta, the high ratings. I'm curious to know what the ratings were for Phoenix.
I'm interested to see what the ratings are for Bristol because I want to see if there is a dramatic drop-off after what they saw here. Because I could still see ratings higher. NG Nation, yeah. I could see a drop-off from people watching Phoenix and going, ooh, okay, so I'm not going to watch Bristol now because that was a short track. This is going to be a short track. They didn't change anything. I'm interested to see what's going to happen there for sure.
Yeah, I don't see any ratings just yet for it. I do see this story. Joe Logano's mad at John Hunter Nemechek after Phoenix race. Well, I mean, race like an asshole, you get raced like an asshole. So
playing the world's smallest violin. I mean, who was it?
I said after that happened, I was like, did I just become a John Hunter fan?
I mean, come on. I can't remember who it was. Someone in the group chat was like, who complains the most for driving like a douche more than Joey Logano? And there isn't anybody because Joey will sit there and run you over and then cry because you decided to pay it back. I mean, there's a reason why, Kenseth earned so many fans.
Yep. That'd be why.
Old Hair Club. Respect. If the ratings are low enough, would that finally be enough for NASCAR to add horsepower to the short trip? No,
No.
because they're still going to sit there and say it is not financially possible for these teams, even though they could get us up to 700 horsepower pretty easy. But I don't think 700 fix it. I think it needs to be 900 to 1,000 horsepower, which they definitely will not do, in my opinion.
Levi wants to know if we're coming to Bristol. No.
No, unfortunately not. At least not the first one. I might make the second one. Hotels were already booked out when I looked. Plus, I'm working right now. I'm actually working in Tennessee, but other side of the state. So, unfortunately, can't make this one.
We'll be at Dega, though.
We'll be at Dega. I think y'all said y'all were coming to Dega, so hope to see y'all there. We'll be out there with the bus and the yard sign, repping. Y'all need to get some flags made. If y'all get a flag, we'll hang it up from the bus too. Definitely buy one of those.
Yeah, 750 horsepower isn't going to make much of a difference. We need 900 plus.
Need 900
That's
plus.
the difference.
Yeah, and you know what's
2014, we had 950 horsepower.
Baby. Yeah, and that's the thing is NASCAR will do it. They'll do the 750 and be like, "See, guys, didn't work. We need 900 to 1,000." Period.
Yeah, I mean, the closer you get to 1,000, the better. There is a difference, though, as far as tires from 2014 to 900 horsepower. That's my fault. I don't buy it. There's some things Denny says that I'm just like, I don't buy it. I think Denny speaks as a owner and he speaks as a driver. I think if you ask Denny, the driver, he's going to say horsepower is going to make a difference. If you ask him as the owner, he's going to say no because it costs too much money. He's come out in the past and said that there's no cost difference between running 900 plus horsepower and the current engine package. There's no cost difference because now you have engine manufacturers trying to spend more amount of money to squeak out 5 more horsepower than 10, 15, 20 horsepower.
Yeah. And it's kind of the nature of the beast, right? They're sitting here going, okay, we got to make this model to save money. To me, save money somewhere else.
Yeah, he's got Jordan money. He'll be all right. Yeah, that's a fact. Hey, look, I froze again.
Hold, please.
Housekeeping.
Okay.
Housekeeping.
Well, all right.
Housekeeping.
Probably call back. I don't know who the heck that was, but that's cool.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm lost. Let's see. Levi said we've talked about flags. Look for rain tires this weekend. Typical Bristol forecast. Rain all 3 days right now. It changes every hour. I think we looked yesterday and it was sunshine.
Yeah, well, it'll probably snow, so.
I like how it just caught up to you and it was like fast forward.
It's still doing it.
Oh gosh. You and your dollar store internet.
I wish it cost dollar store internet.
That's true. But
all right, we'll get into picks for this coming weekend.
Picks for, let's see.
Bristol.
Who you want? I'll let you pick first.
Oh, you let me. All right, then. Denny Hamlin.
Okay. So you get that one. I am going to go. I'm gonna give it to Busher on this one. I'm gonna go again.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go back with Busher.
Ooh, I kind of like that. Yo, Dakota,
What's up, big dog? Hey, we're gonna be over on their channel this week, so all y'all watching right now, make sure y'all tune back in. We will be on their, or I'll be at least. I don't know, Andy, if you're joining or not. But we're gonna be over on theirs on Thursday. I think he said, right?
Something like that.
I think it's Thursday at 9. So I'll make sure I send out a link when it comes time. It's gonna be fun. Busher, long shot being Noah. Dude, I think if Noah keeps running the way he is, he's got a win in him this year. Very, very likely he can get a win this year.
Noah had that dog in him this weekend. The way he was racing some of them guys.
Dude, they need to bring back that shirt. Did I bring it? Dude, we need to bring it back. We need that shirt back. It's the stash. It's your stash. Going for Brad. Brad's not a bad pick either. I think Busher's got it this weekend. That's the one I'm picking. Hoping that he can show out.
But did Busher win Bristol night race with the next gen? That was in 22, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would have been next gen race.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Buscher's a good little solid pick there.
Yeah. I think he can do really well here. I mean, realistically, I thought he was going to do better. I was hoping for better at least at Phoenix, but we're going to see what it turns out to be. Noah, I think, can get a win for sure if he continues to do what he's doing. He's qualifying very well. I mean, you go from last year never making the second round of qualifying to twice now being in that second round. If he continues to build upon that and get more and more comfortable in this car, I'm excited.
Austin Dillon gets it done.
Austin Dillon's
I
going
hope
to
he
hit
does. I
somebody.
hope he has a good race.
I don't like Dillons. I don't like any of the Dillons. Bring Austin Hill in.
What did
Retire
Austin
the 3. Bring the 29 back. Put Austin Hill in the 29, and let's right this ship.
What did Austin do to you?
Dillon? He's just Dillon. That's it.
It's not a good answer.
I know. But all right, so let's see here at the very end here. We got people over here on the YouTube, Facebook side. We got people on the Instagram side. I want real quick, just the chat. I want y'all to put in what race you're excited about most for this year. Now that we've seen Atlanta do really well, are you excited for that race? Obviously, we got people that love Dega. We got people that love Bristol. But I want to know real quick from the chat because I want to see what people are actually saying and thinking. What their favorite or most look forward to race is going to be this year. Dega. Of course. So what he's hinting at is we're doing an entire compound at Dega. So make sure if you're not going to Dega, you go to Dega because it's going to be freaking amazing.
Oh boy.
It is going to be. It's going to be epic. The Talladega is going to be awesome. If you're not there, you're going to see us. We're going to be going live a lot on it. Hopefully, we're picking up some sponsors for it. Speaking of sponsors, Fascar 10 at kangacoolers.com. You can get koozies. You can get coolers themselves. All these things. If you order anything from their website, Kanga, I think it's just kanga.com or kangacoolers.com. It's in our link tree. So just click it and go through from there. But if you use Fascar 10, you get 10% off whatever you order, and it helps us out, goes towards the bus fund.
I like it.
Charlotte one because I'm going, and 2, interested to see how Larson does between 500 and 600.
I like it.
Of course, you're going to like that one. We got Levi on the other side. Dega is always good, and Atlanta 2 is going to be good.
Atlanta 2, I am excited about Atlanta 2.
Is Atlanta 2 going to be sold out early?
I don't know if it's going to be a sellout early. I bet it's a sellout by the weekend of the race.
Okay.
I bet Sunday it'll be a sellout.
I agree it sold out. I'm thinking it's going to sell early. I think they're going to get, Levi said, yes, it'll sell out. I think they're going to push it heavy. There's already billboards outside of Atlanta. I got some friends out there. Phoenix, yeah, but Phoenix, we talked about Phoenix being a sellout. And it's a sellout, but I don't think it's a real sellout.
I don't know. Have you seen how many campers show up to Phoenix?
There's a bunch, but if you looked at the stands, it did not look sellout. It looked like group buys, and then half the people showed up.
It looked like 90% was full.
Probably 90%. But what I'd also like to know what the capacity of Phoenix is versus some of these other NASCAR tracks, because I feel like there's a vast difference between a Phoenix and an Atlanta.
We look that up.
I know it's a vast difference between Bristol and Phoenix.
42,000.
42,000. What does Atlanta hold? Yeah, kind of like a Bristol sellout the last few years. Levi says.
Atlanta is. Ooh, I'm not buying that. 71 to 125,000.
That's probably before they changed the seating.
Before
Now they took out
and some of the seating like Bristol.
Yeah, they took out some of the rows and added some cup holder rails and stuff. So I'd say probably you're looking somewhere in the 60,000 range or 50s, high 50s is what
I would say it's probably around 60.
Yeah, high 50s, 60, somewhere in there. It's different. I think you look at it that way, and Phoenix can sell out before some of these other tracks can easily.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing that people, like the casual fan, they look at the stands during the TV broadcast and they're like, oh, it's not there's nobody there, or the stands look empty. A lot of these facilities have actually updated their seating. So Bristol, for example, Atlanta now, they take that row in between out and they have like a bench bar top setup, which
Yep.
I think it's great. It gives you more room and everything. It's
Yeah.
upgrading facilities for the fans is
Yeah.
number one in my mind. So the money that these tracks make from revenue, as much money as they can reinvest into the tracks and facilities, bathrooms, concessions, seating, all of that, campgrounds, campsites, everything.
Yeah. Pour money back into infrastructure. Bring fans in. Just
Make
do it
NASCAR
for
great
future
again.
comforts. Do it the right way.
Make NASCAR
But
great.
that is all I have. You got anything else you want to touch on before we head offline?
No, other than winner chicken dinner.
Hey, we're gonna see what the weekend brings. Hopefully, Bristol stays dry, at least dry enough. I know they did the wet weather package.
Yeah, they got the wet weather package. I didn't even know they did that. I missed that news.
You're not even a true fan.
No, just because I wasn't on social media during the off season. So,
Are you even a true fan? Exactly. And with that, I bid y'all adieu. Thank you so much, and until next time, see you.
bye-bye.